Hi, I'm back, and this is episode 8. And instead of doing a game straight up, I'm going to just show you what I've learnt recently, because that's what the purpose of this video series is. It's showing me progressing. So I've played a lot of games recently after having a few lessons. I've had 3 lessons now. And one of the things that I was encouraged to do in the lessons is do Go problems every day. So I've been doing that, and that's what I want to focus on here. But just to let you know, it says my rank's 17Q or 16.2, but that's because it's been difficult to get games on OGS lately, so I've played bots a bit more than I should. But if I wait for 5 minutes and I haven't got a game, and I want to play a game, then I'll play a bot, and I seem to be better at beating bots than people. So I'm probably really still 18Q in reality. However, the thing I wanted to show you, which I'm really excited about, is this Tsumego problems. So I've got this app for my iPad called Tsumego Pro, and this is what the app looks like. And it's got daily problems and stacks of problems, and you can sort of gradually see your improvement. It gives you like a effective ranking as you improve. I'm 17Q on that at the moment. Sometimes I hit 16. So I'm making good progress. But when I first started using it, I found it really difficult to know what I'm supposed to do. So for example, this is one of the questions, and I'd be wondering, well, what am I supposed to achieve? Because it doesn't say it's a life and death problem. You have to figure out for yourself what it is. Sometimes they're connection problems, and sometimes they are life and death. So in this particular example, you've got black has got 2 liberties. Now, what I've learned through doing these problems is my liberty counting is really off, because I'm not taking into account moves that change the shape or include captures. But in this example, black looks doomed because it's got 2 moves. If white was to move here, it's black's move. But if white was to move here, then black's finished. Nothing black can do about it. In this situation, this empty triangle here is pretty weak. So if black moves here, it puts white in a real bind. White can't sort of kill black easily because of this triangle. I mean, if white tries by, say, doing this and running out, then once we get past this section here, black is able to kill, right? So white can't do that. All white can really do is threaten to capture on the side. But in the very move of doing this, it's now messed up the number of liberties, the liberty balance, because black can now move here, and that means that white now has 2 liberties in this little group, and black has 2 liberties in here. But white can no longer move here to shrink this one down, because if white was to do that, then black can capture. So white is a bit stuck in what it can do next. It can't move up there. It could take here, for example, but that doesn't affect the fact that black can move there, and white's got nothing it can do. And basically, black wins this whole area. So I reckon that's pretty cool. So from being in a disastrous situation with the hope of a weak group, so now I'm going to look out for empty triangles. I've got a chance if I move there. So I reckon that's pretty cool. We'll look at the next one. So this next one, notice that this white empty triangle here, it's not really empty anymore, but this triangle here and this line of 3 is almost surrounded by black. That's the clue. So in this example, it's a bit counterintuitive, but if black moves here, then white is in Atari. The only easy way to get out of Atari is for white to capture this black. But when it does that, black is then able to move here, which puts this back into Atari. So if white is not thinking, white will then fill this spot to try and survive, but that's doomed because black can move here and the whole thing's gone. So that's another great example. So in this case, the counting, it looks like that black has got no hope of winning anything in here. But by moving here and forcing white to make a move, white looks like there's lots of liberties here, right? But there's really none. Like, it's down to one in no time. So I think that's pretty good, right? So after doing probably 50 problems and starting to get the hang of it and starting to see how this works, I thought, wow, this is amazing. So let's look at another one. So in this one, white is a bit surrounded here again, similar to the last one. If black moves here, like the last one, white is in Atari. So white can't ignore this. White can't move there, for example. White has to take. Now when white takes, it looks like white's opened up a few possibilities. Got 1, 2, 3 outside liberties. But the problem is, when black moves there, then white has only is in Atari again and is forced to move here unless white gives that up, which is probably the best thing to do, because the moment black moves here, white's got nowhere to go and the whole group die. So as you can see, doing the first move, like my approach in the past would have been, try and get out of this by not letting black be captured. And the moment I do that, white's home free. I mean, white can move here and then white escapes. But if instead black moves here, puts white into Atari, then oh sorry, I just moved wrong then. Black is in a great position. So I think that's pretty cool. Let's look at we'll look at 3 more quickly. So in this case, we've got 2 liberties for this black group and 2 liberties for this black group. So this is looking pretty bad. If white was to move here, this black group's doomed. If white was to move here or here, this black group is doomed. And it looks like white has stacks of liberties across the top. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? That's what it looks like. However, if black moves there, then white is in Atari again. So this is the key. You need to do a black move that puts white into Atari that then compromises white's shape or liberties. So in this case, white is not going to move there, because if white was to move there, then white's captured, right? So white is going to capture that black position. The problem for white is that this means that black can move here, putting white back in Atari. And if white solves that problem, white has only 2 liberties left. Now black has 2 liberties, but it's black's turn. But if black moves here, then white's done, because next move, white's captured. I mean, white can try and move here if white wants to, but black wins. I reckon that is just fantastic. Like, I just love that. Like, to me, this is almost magical. It's like ninja. It's like it's like magic Go. So my eyes have been opened to a new level of Go in realizing this, and I think it's awesome. It just makes me want to play more, right? Which is good. Now this example, you think to yourself, well, what hope has black got here? Until you realize that the correct move is here. Now, I would never normally think about this move because white responds, and in fact, white has to respond because white was in Atari otherwise. Black now looks like it can be squished against the edge. But when black makes his move there, normally that doesn't help, right? Normally that just delays the inevitable of a capture. But now, if white tries to catch on the left side, white's gone. If white tries to catch on the right side, white's gone. So how cool is that? I reckon that's awesome. So that's really good to watch out for. When you've got some weakness, another empty triangle. Moving here is a disaster for white. Really good to see. So doing these problems has helped me to realize avoid empty triangles like the plague, which I think is a good backwards way to learn that. Let's look at this one last. Now, in this example, black has two liberties. It looks fully surrounded by white. It looks like an utter disaster, right? But notice this white group has two liberties. If black was to move here, it's not going to help at all because white will then move here, and then white has 1, 2, 3 liberties. But what if you do it the other way around and you move here? We think, well, that's a bit ridiculous because it will get captured immediately. So let's just see what happens. Capture. All right. Now, black still has two liberties here, but white has two liberties. So when black moves here, now white has one liberty. So white tries to save himself, and black moves here. Black still has two, but white only has one. White can try all he likes, not going to get anywhere, and white is dead. So that's my little learning and excitement about these Go problems. I'm now seeing possibilities where I never saw them. I'm realizing that it's possible to do moves that look like they're bad moves, but they actually expose a weakness in a shape where someone's attacking you with weakness, especially with empty triangles and the like. So I think that's pretty cool. I wanted to share that with you, and I'll do another episode shortly. But have a great day, and I hope this encourages you to get out and have a go at doing some Go problems, because if you're like me, you'll find them really great and they really lift your game. Have a great day. Bye.